how Germany deported Iran's Islamist Mullah, which is a little bit of a like redundant statement because if it's like a government backed Mullah, like they're going to be Islamist, but okay, whatever. In Germany.
Right.
Germany's recent deportation of Mohammad Hadi Mofatteh, a prominent Iranian cleric and alleged representative of Iran's supreme leader, marks a significant move in the country's efforts to combat Islamist extremism. A 57-year-old former head of the Islamic Center of Hamburg, or IZH for short, was ordered to leave Germany after the center was shut down for promoting extremist ideologies. The IZH, established in 1953, has long been a subject of controversy and scrutiny by German authorities. Initially founded to serve the spiritual needs of Hamburg's growing Iranian community, it gradually became viewed as an outpost of the Iranian regime, allegedly used to spread its influence in Germany and across Europe. The German intelligence agencies had been monitoring the center for years, suspecting it of activities ranging from espionage to promoting radical Islamist ideologies. Despite Mofatteh's legal appeal, German authorities successfully executed the deportation order on September 10th. Hamburg Interior Minister Andy Grote hailed the action as a victory for national security, stating, quote, with the deportation of the former director of the Islamic Center of Hamburg, we have removed one of the most prominent Islamists from our country. This deportation follows a broader crackdown on Iran-linked religious centers in Germany, reflecting the government's commitment to combating foreign influence and extremist ideologies within its borders. The closure of the IZH and Mofatteh's deportation represents a significant shift in Germany's approach to managing religious institutions suspected of its ties to foreign governments and extremist ideologies. So,
Way to go, Germany. This is good. This
cheers,
is good.
Germany.
This We need to keep moving in this direction. And again, this is late. This is very late, but we're gonna celebrate it anyways. Like the fact that these people were up. This guy was in direct communication with Ali Khamenei. I just looked this up. The guy was like chit chatting with him directly while supporting Hezbollah and financing the Houthis. This what the like in the heart of Europe, in in Germany, you have a mullah, a head of the Blue Mosque, indirect. Like I'm not exaggerating. There was like no in between. This guy was basically had a direct line with Khamenei himself, getting approval from him to support Hezbollah and Houthis in Europe. They had piles of cash there in Europe. How did this happen for so long? Like this is insane. Unbelievable.
It really is.
This
It
is
really is,
wild.
though. And I would like to make a big celebration and welcome a victory to all the Iranian German citizens who have been protesting and raising awareness about the insidious and dangerous activities of it's known as the Blue Mosque for short, of the Blue Mosque in Hamburg for years. The Iranian community has been campaigning against the activities of the Blue Mosque for a very, very long time and demanding that their government take action for a very, very long time. Armin and I even know some of the activists who have been involved in campaigning and protesting against this mosque and their insidious behavior. So shouts out to them. You know, it is in large part due to the alarms being raised by the local Iranian community that helped bring this to the attention of authorities. So they really need a lot of credit. And so this is an amazing win. Can I be honest though? This is a little bit of a sidetrack, but the actual mosque itself is very beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah. Yeah.
mosque, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, can I just go do
Yeah.
a tour to go check out the beautiful mosaic work? You guys are psychos though.
I know, like I'm. By the way, there's no contradiction between being an atheist and enjoying the beauty of religious buildings. There's like, if it's beautiful, it's fucking beautiful. Just get these motherfuckers out of there, so we could just go there and enjoy your beautiful mosque, and while being blasphemous in there. Like, why not? Like, get people, get like good. You know, the best way to enjoy beautiful mosques is to kick out these mullahs out of there and turn it into a tourist destination and get girls with their shorts go there and take Instagrammable pictures while being like, yeah, that would be great. Yeah, we want to enjoy your mosque is now ours. It's now a tourist destination for Instagrammable photos for girls in shorts. So, I'm not in favor of getting rid of these mosques. Just turn it into just make it a touristy thing rather than a religious thing. That's what should happen to beautiful mosques. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a beautiful mosque. By the way, this was again, I know people. This is deja vu because this guy is the head of that blue mosque that I covered. I did a stream where when they did this. So this is basically the continuation of that. First, the police went and raided the mosque. They got all of this evidence, and then now the mullah that is in charge of this mosque, this is the update, is that he's been kicked out. He's I can confirm that he is now in Iran. He has been deported and he cannot come back, which is fantastic. But this is when they raided the mosque where they got all this evidence. This was so beautiful to watch. Look at this. Yeah. Yes, go get that.
You're so funny. You're like, get him, boys. Get them the fuck out of
More
here,
of that.
boys.
I want to see more of that. By the way, here's a list of shit
Ladies
these
and
people were
gentlemen,
up to, right?
we got him.
Yeah. All right. So okay. So one, I have five direct communications with Iran. The head of the Islamic Center in Hamburg, Mohammad Hadi Mofatteh, this guy, right? Maintain direct contact with the office of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei. Investigations revealed over 650 messages exchanged between this guy, Mofatteh, and Mehdi Mostafavi, a top Iranian official from late 2021 to the end of 2023. These communications included instructions on promoting anti-Israel propaganda and supporting Hezbollah. So, wow. So, two, supporting Hezbollah. The center is accused of having close ties with Hezbollah, a group classified as a terrorist organization by Germany. Evidence suggests that the center provided financial, moral, and advisory support to Hezbollah. This includes facilitating the travels of a Hezbollah cleric in Germany and participating in meetings related to Hezbollah activities. Three, propaganda and extremism. The Islamic Center Hamburg has been accused of spreading extremist Islamist ideologies and Iranian revolutionary ideas in an aggressive and militant manner. Wow. The German Interior Ministry identified the center as a significant propaganda hub for the Iranian regime in Europe, promoting anti-Semitic and anti-Israel sentiments. There's four. Four, financial support for extremist activities. Investigations found that the center was involved in financial activities supporting extremist groups, including financial aid to Yemen's Houthis and approved by Khamenei's office. Okay, wow, that's a lot. That's a big list. That's a big naughty list. They basically covered everything. You've been very naughty. Get the fuck
Santa's
out.
not visiting your house this year. He's giving you a call.
Yeah, but if this was up to me, I wouldn't be kicking out this guy. I would be kicking anybody that had anything to do with this mosque whatsoever. Like, I would be like, why is he being kicked out? Like it should be like I want to see a list of like 100 people being kicked out. I want anybody any person that is not a citizen of Germany, that is has even a remote tie to the regime in Germany, to be like, yeah, we're not, like if they
Oh,
come like, where's the evidence that I'm doing something wrong? We don't have any evidence. We're just not gonna take the risk. Get the fuck out. We have the right, because you're not a fucking citizen. We have the right to kick you out without providing any evidence of wrongdoing. We're just playing it safe. That's a correct position to have. I don't require legally. I don't want to provide you with. If the law tells me that I cannot kick you out because I'm just being careful, then I'm going to change the fucking law. Okay, I will have to change the law because we cannot fuck around and like just see what happens here. We have to take initiative. We have to do preemptively kick you out. Before we don't have to. I don't want to wait around to see if you're going to do something wrong. I'm going to preemptively kick you the fuck out. But yeah, go on.
well, and what people need to understand is that this is more than just Islamist propaganda, but this is a method for the Iranian regime to exert transnational repression. And transnational repression has kind of been the modus operandi of the Islamic Republic from the very beginning. I mean, we're talking like assassinations conducted in Vienna, where they just straight up go into a room where it's supposed to be a diplomatic meeting with Kurdish opposition, and they just shoot up the whole room. Like this like this happens, and Armin and I have people in the Atheist Republic community who have been victims of the transnational repression of the Islamic Republic. And in fact, later in the story today, we're going to be talking about what might be another example of that. And people need to understand that it can be deadly. It can put people who have family still backing Iran, their family in grave danger. And having been involved in the Iranian community in Europe, in Vienna specifically, and seeing how they conduct themselves and seeing how they act, there is a well founded fear within these communities living abroad that their movements and activities to oppose the regime will be infiltrated by Islamic Republic loyalists or, you know, the dogs of the regime. And I've seen the way that people are extremely suspicious and have their guard up about if people are spying on them in a foreign nation for the sake of the Iranian government. And sometimes that leads to a situation where people have been like obviously falsely accused of doing that kind of nefarious activity, which is very awkward. But I've seen it happen. And so like these communities live in real fear of the regime because of these tentacles, these outposts, these spy outposts of the regime, like the Blue Mosque, even though they have protected status and they're living in a completely foreign nation. Um, and so taking action against these outposts of terror is of the utmost importance. Um, yeah, Armin, do you have any thoughts about that?
No, I want to highlight some things people are saying in the live chat. Oh, first of all, Alfred is saying, hello, friends. We're looking for volunteers to help us highlight comments during Armin's live streams. If you're interested, please let me know here in the live chat. We'd love to have you on board. And then Sarah Harris responded saying, interested. Okay, so wait, Alfred, how do they contact? You could contact me on Twitter if you're interested. My Twitter DMs are open. But Alfred, how do they contact you? Let them know. So there's that. Wait, so I want to respond to this. Somebody ex-Muslim here in the live chat saying, Europe is finished. The whole West and eventually the non-Muslim East will also be doomed. What the hell is
That's a
wrong with
joke.
you guys? That are you kidding me? It's not. Europe is not finished. The sky is not falling. This is just a temporary It's a temporary issue that the West will be able to deal with and will come back stronger than ever. This is just a setback. What is this with this doomerism? Is that the right word? Doomerism.
Yeah.
Like, no, the West is not finished. The West will survive this. The West has survived much, much greater threats than this. Are you okay? As big of a threat that Islamism is, and Islam is as a whole, to be, let's call it Islam, as big of a threat as Islam is, it's nothing. It's pathetically weak
You guys have
compared
no
to
idea.
the. You guys have no fucking idea. You have no idea. The West survived Nazi Germany, communism, imperialist Japan. The globe was being taken over by totalitarianism, and the liberal world order managed to come and defeat all of it. All of it. You think this Islamist, this is a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. I mean, we are taking it seriously because it's the biggest threat right now. It's the biggest threat. Wokeism and Islam are the biggest threat that to liberalism today. But if you zoom out a little bit, if you just zoom out a little bit and look at our recent history
Yeah,
relative
this
to
is
what we
light
had to
work.
deal with, this is light work. We again, I don't want to this. I don't want us. I don't want us not to take it seriously. The reason why we will be able to survive it is because we are going to take it seriously, right? So there's a good, happy zone that we should stay in. We shouldn't go as far as the people who are basically saying the sky is falling, Europe is going to fall, this is the end of Western liberalism. It's not that. But I don't want us to go on the other side as well, saying, like, okay, this is not a threat. It is a threat. It is a significant threat, but we will survive this. The West will survive this for sure.
No, and
Anyways.
here's the thing, what people need to understand is that when you take the attitude of, oh, like liberalism, because I don't like the framing of it being like Europe, the West, whatever, whatever. If you take the framing of like liberalism is done, it's we're finished. Like you're actually letting them win. Because what people need to understand is one of the functions and desires of terrorism is to make you fearful, obviously, hence the name, and also to kind of enact war upon our trust in human good, our trust in humanity, and also our trust in our institutions. And so if you are actually taking that belief, if you're adopting that belief, then you are actually letting them win. That's what they want you to believe. That's what they want you to feel. That's what they want you to fear. So don't let them win, man. Like don't yeah, you're letting them win, man.
Right.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
so
convinced that Islamism is like a emotional crisis, a mental and emotional crisis to the end of the caliphate. And
yes, yes, this is
it's
coping. This is
it's cope.
coping.
It's an
Yes,
inability to cope.
exactly. By the way,
It's
look
like,
at
"You're
this.
finished?
Look at
No, you were finished years ago, decades ago, and you can't
yeah,
fucking
what
deal with it."
yes, it's funny because they're acting like the US empire is like the or the Western liberal order is like dying, right? But basically, what they're this is the screaming of their own dying empire. This is just the last. Imagine like the Islamic Empire once like ruled a huge portion of the planet, and now just because they have a higher population there in the UK, or because they are opening mosques in the United States, they're like, oh my god, look at us being so powerful. Are you fucking kidding me? You had armies, you controlled a huge portion of the global economy, and now because they're allowing you to have a mosque in that fucking corner, they're basically being tolerant enough for you to be able to just have a mosque there or have an event there. Like, oh my God, look at us being so powerful. You're fucking nothing. Look at these countries' armies. Look at their economy. Look at their culture. You are just taking a small portion of it, and you think just because they're allowing you to be relevant that you're powerful. You are nothing. You're pathetically weak. Anyways.
John is saying, Ataturk won. Get over it.
Right. Yes. Oh wait, we got a super chat. I will read the super chats. However, I want to remind everybody that today is Mahsa Amini's second anniversary, and
Well, of her death.
a lot of Iranians are, yes, second anniversary of the revolution starting because she was killed by the regime, and a lot of Iranians are using this opportunity to remind everybody that the revolution still lives on. And this actually is a good response to Han's comment, because Han is saying, Armin, why didn't Iran survive Islam? Well, I, I don't know if you are understanding what you're saying. Islam is dying in Iran. You should, I think the question should be the other way around, okay? Because I think Han's understanding is that history ended in 1979 because Islam tried to take over Iran, and now Iran is taking over Islam. Okay, Islam, the question shouldn't be, Armin, why didn't Iran survive Islam? The question should be like, Armin, why didn't Islam survive in Iran? Islam is dying in Iran. Islam tried to take over in Iran, and Iran was too powerful of an enemy. So even in a country that is experimenting with liberalism, a country that didn't have a history of liberalism, Islam cannot even survive there. The Iranian people are defeating Islam in the Middle East. So if Islam can't even survive in the Middle East, what hope do you think it has? Even when Islam had in this modern liberal world, when Islam wins, it's a temporary win. Eventually, even in Iran, liberalism will take over and win. We know why? Because liberalism works. It just fucking works, right? Han's example is such a actually good example of why Islam will not survive if Islam cannot even survive in the Middle East. And again, that's a good. These two questions, good. These two comments go hand in hand. We have a revolution. We have a liberal secular master revolution that in a country where when Islam was the rule of law, they have everything in their favor. They had the government, they had the law, they had oil, they had the economy, they were in the Middle East, they had the media, they had the school system, they had everything. And Islam could not survive even if they had everything in their favor, because people want to live, because people want to be free.
Also, I don't think
Islam
people
would destroy
understand
itself.
that this is like not a new phenomenon. Like Iran is where empires go to get Persianized. Like this is not a new thing. You try to take
Oh,
over
look, he
us,
doesn't.
we Persianize you.
Look, Han is like, Iran is an Islamic republic. What are you talking about? You fucking moron. Iran is now a Muslim minority country. Iran is producing the most aggressive Islamophobia in the fucking world. The hatred for Islam, the people who are leaving Islam, we have more than 40 million people have left Islam within one generation. You are clueless, you are an idiot, and you have no idea what you're talking about. So let me educate you. Anyways.
Wait, we had a few comments I want to respond to, and then Dee wants us to scroll through the article to look at the comments because she found some freaking hilarious reactions to this news.
Oh
But,
wait, so
and
yeah, go on.
Carl, this is important. He's saying that is the bare minimum they have done to make it appear that they crack down on Islam. 2,000 mosques paid by Erdogan are still open. Here's the thing: they do need to deal with the Turkey infiltration problem. Don't even get me started. That's like this is the tip of the iceberg. Let's be completely clear, and that's kind of like a different
Yeah.
head of the snake. Like and Germany has taken a little bit of action. I think they're no longer going to allow imams that were trained in Turkey. They have to get trained in Germany, but that's like the tiniest little bit of a band-aid over the issue. But Carl, I'm completely with you. Like the Turkish influence is something that needs to be combated as well. And Kenny is saying what I'm worried about, though, is that we become more authoritarian in response to the extremists slash authoritarians, be it Islamists or other autocrats. What do you think about that?
Let me actually. Okay, so Kenny's saying what I'm worried about though is to we become more authoritarian in response to the extremists. What do you mean authoritarian? Depends on what you mean by authoritarian, be it Islamist or other autocrats. What do you mean? It's not authoritarian to stop intolerance. It's not authoritarian to defend your nation state. Liberalism believes in the rule of law. Liberalism believes in maintaining your nation as the framework where people get to be free. We have positive freedoms and we have negative freedoms, right? So when it comes to liberalism, it's not just the idea of being freedom from something, it has to be freedom to do something as well. So some limitations are required for you to be truly free, maximally free. Limitations are required. Some people don't understand. They think limitations contradicts freedom. No, the government needs to take some freedoms away for you to become maximally free, because if the government doesn't introduce limitation, then the framework where in which you get to be free will not even be able to be there. So if the government comes and cracks down, if the government is not neutral and has certain values that it's trying to defend within within the framework of a nation state, that is not authoritarianism. Okay, if you find the right balance for limitations and for the government to stay the fuck out to maximize freedom, then that is not authoritarianism. Don't every time you see the government coming out and cracking down on something or limiting certain freedoms, don't think that is authoritarian. That is actually liberalism, if you get that balance right. And how do you get that balance right? How do you get that balance right? Who decides what that right balance is? And this is a most important question for people to understand. There is no one person or a school of thought that will teach you the right balance. The right balance will be determined in a society where people are free to express themselves, and with the conflict of ideas, nobody can know the right answer. You have to get people to compete and have conflicts in ideas with each other, and through an emergent property of Darwinian evolution in the market of ideas, the right answer will present itself through this competition. This is why freedom of expression is the most important fundamental principle that we need to be defending, because nobody has the right answers. Nobody knows what the right answer is. The answer will present itself through the conflict between different positions. Does that make sense?
Yeah. D was saying,
Mm.
wait, let me pull up. I think Kenny might be talking about the UK squashing free speech. Well, I mean, this is like a whole other like totalitarian nanny
Yeah.
state freaking issue. It's not the same as like border security. Um
So yeah, so that is if you. This is why freedom of speech, like, we're okay with many different limitations, but because we don't know the right answers to things, and we're required to let a Darwinian model provide the right answers to us, then the free speech should be off limits. So we would like the government to come introduce limitations in a way that protects the nation states, but not when it comes to people are expressing themselves and providing ideas. That should be hands off. I would agree with you if the government it moves to limiting people's expression, that could be getting close to. It's not authoritarianism, but it's similar. It has some characteristics that is similar to it, that we don't like. right? I don't want to exaggerate and call things authoritarian, even if we don't like something, right? Because authoritarianism is on a completely different freaking level.
Yeah, but let me be
Yeah.
clear. If I was in the UK right now, I'd be ripping my hair out over the stuff government is doing about free speech. Oh my god, I'd be losing my mind. Um,
Mm.
I get heated just thinking about it. I'm on the other side of the Atlantic. God damn. Uh, you highlighted this comment. Freethinker just saying, "Are you sure, Armin?" I'm not sure what this is in relation to.
Yes, yes. Hold on. I will. Because they're asking me if I'm sure that people are leaving religion in such numbers in Iran,
Oh, we have
right?
so much evidence about this. We have so much
Yes.
evidence.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Alcohol consumption. I will show you some evidence. There we go.
In the
All right.
meantime, John had a comment saying the Islamic Republic is basically a terrorist gang with a manufacturing construction slash oil company attached to it. Yeah, like just monopolizing the economy that has a nation of wonderful people being held hostage, and those people are fighting back. True.
All right. Bring back the free thinker saying, "Are you sure?" Right. So, yeah. So this was a poll conducted by University in Netherlands, saying how have you religion. So it's an institution called Gamal by some people who are experts in polls and stuff, and they are from a university in Netherlands, but this institution it's its own independent institution, right? So it's saying how have you they asked this from Iranian people, right? And this is scientifically collected data and scientifically analyzed data as well. We on the Persian show we went over the methodology line by line. So it says, how have your religious or non-religious belief changed during your lifetime, right? So the red is I went from being religious to non-religious, and I've seen the questions in Persian, right? And if the non-religious, the translation here in English might be misleading because you might think non-religious means like just not very religious, but it's actually none. So non-religious means like I don't have a religion, not that I am just not being religious, mean going from having a religion to not having a religion, right? So this is, if you look at the total, 46.8% of Iranians, so nearly half, within one generation. This is within 40 years, within like one lifetime. Like this is not like generation, like multiple generations. So within one lifetime, half of Iranians have went from having a religion to not having any religion at all. To not having any religion at all. This is a change that you see over hundreds of years happening within one generation in Iran. This is a population of close to 90 million people. So this is more than, close to 45 million people just abandoning Islam. And if you want to see why I consider Iran to be a Muslim minority, if you go, where was that? The circle, the pie chart here, right? So if you look at now these numbers here, right? So these are the nuns, people who have no religion. These are atheists, okay? These are Shia Muslims. So if these are people who self ID as atheists, the actual number of atheists is higher. And I could show you if you want. Let me know. I could show you why the actual number of atheists in Iran is higher than 9%. This is the people who self ID as atheists. But if you look at Muslims, so we have Shia Muslims, and then we have Sunni Muslims, 5%, 32, and then who else is a Muslim here? Let's give them the Baha'is. Do you guys want to give them the Baha'is as well? I mean, it's only 0.5%, so it doesn't count as much. Who else is a Muslim here? Oh yeah, Sufis. Let's give them the Sufis as well. Okay, so 39%. Let's give them 40. Right, 40% Muslim. Iran is 40% Muslim.
That's being generous.
So that's being generous, yes. So that makes Iran a Muslim minority country. And the reason why I say atheist, it says atheist 9% here, but the reason why I say it's 20% is because these are the people who will choose the label atheist. But if you define atheist as the people who don't believe in God, then I will use actually a different chart, this one. So if you ask which of the following do you believe in, only 78% of Iranians say they believe in God. So that would mean that 20% of Iranians don't believe in God. That would mean 20% of Iranians are atheists. Half of them will self-ID as atheists. So there we go. So yeah, I
Um,
am sure. I am almost sure. Yeah.
yeah, Boring Opinion gave us a super chat saying in Iran are not over 70% atheists. Well, Armin just went through the data. So we think we answered that question. And Zubin is saying, wow, and this is 2020 data. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
and the
super
attitudes have changed. That's actually
so
Zubin.
much.
So much since the master revolution, people in Iran have gone from being like abandoning Islam to aggressively hating Islam. So I want to see a new poll because the attitudes have changed so dramatically. People in Iran went to have a huge portion of them have went to from not hating Israel to just like not hating it, just be like indifferent, to being aggressively in support of Israel. So I want to see new polls. I want to see what the numbers are now.
Armin was telling me the other day about this guy who's a really famous Iranian YouTuber, and he is like a fascist. And he went from being an anti-Semite to like a complete Netanyahu fanboy.
Right.
And Armin
Oh
was
yeah.
telling me all the details of the evolution. It was so funny.
Yeah, so we have like Iranian YouTubers that are do political commentary. You could see like in the past 2 years, these were some channels that were aggressively anti-Semitic, and now those same channels with the same hosts are Netanyahu fanboys. They're aggressively Zionist. They're even more Zionist than me. Some of them. Sometimes I'm like, okay, chill the fuck down. Like this is too much. Like it's so interesting how many like it forget 40 years ago, forget 30 years ago, the attitudes in Iran are unrecognizable even from 2 years ago. The master revolution has made a huge difference in how people view things in Iran. It's a major shift. We went in Iran, we went from there's a picture of, remember I showed you a picture of two girls without hijab, and they just walked and to a restaurant and released a picture of themselves eating with no hijab, and how big of a news that was, and it was being shared everywhere, like how daring these people are, like the religious people were upset. That picture will not even show up. It would not, it's normal now. Like that picture was from 2 years ago. People were like, "Oh my god, two girls without hijab in a restaurant taking pictures of themselves." There are girls dancing hijabless in the freaking streets right now, and nobody. It's not even interesting anymore. That's how insane that and normalized this is. Because girls are showing up with crop tops and shorts sometimes now in Iran, and so, like this is so. uh, People are showing up with improper hijabs in Islamic shrines, and
Yeah.
acting like this is why
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah,
what inspired me to say that the Blue Mosque needs to become like somewhere where people go take Instagram pictures, because they're doing that in Iran with the Shia shrines there. Wait, I need to find this video and show it to you.
That's amazing. Oh my god. No, when I'm
Okay,
talking
I
about
will find this video.
I started laughing when
Okay,
you were
go.
talking about that because Armin, I remembered another detail. Guys, this guy who's the fascist YouTuber that I was talking about went this is so funny. He went from being a Holocaust denier to trashing Israeli leftists for not appreciating Netanyahu enough.
Yes. And
What?
it's interesting because he's still a Holocaust denier, and he's still like, okay, back then maybe Jews were lying, but now the history is on the Jews' side. That's what he's saying. Now the Jews are right. Back then they were scheming stuff, but now they're correct. We need to support them.
I cannot get over that. Yo, it's such a mind pretzel. It's
Uh,
such a mind
yes.
pretzel. Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay, Kenny
but
gave another super chat.
there's a
Oh, go ahead.
okay, but let me just tell you about this video that I will find this and I will show it to you guys. Okay, so another video that is going viral is this. What do you call it when you know when a wind barrel? What do you do when people who are very athletic, when soccer
Flips?
player
Cartwheels?
play,
Cartwheels?
yeah, cartwheels, like when soccer players make a goal and they go do
Or
something,
just a
yeah.
flip?
So it's they do a flip,
Backflip.
right? So there's a video of this girl going into one of these. This is she recorded this in Iran, and she posted this on her own Instagram. This would have gotten her executed 10 years ago,
Oh,
but
I
she's just
saw
posting it
that.
as if you saw that. So
It's so cool.
she recorded a video of herself going into the shrine on a wheelchair and then coming out with her hijab and everything, doing a flip, doing a whole flip. Yes. So she's kind of making fun of people who are acting like the shrine heals them. So she just exaggerated, like, look, I was in a wheelchair before, but now I'm doing flips. Right? So, like, what the fuck? So
Ah.
this is pure comedy in expense of the religious people there. Like, what the hell? Like this, I'm Iranian and I can't believe that she could get away with posting that on Instagram. She's still in Iran. Like, it's not like she's posting this from outside of Iran. I don't know what the hell is happening. Things are changing faster than I every year things keep changing faster than I assumed they could last year. That's how things are in Iran right now.
Mm-hmm.
People, the religious people are freaking crying. They're crying. They're not even crying anymore about why people, they saying Tehran has fallen. People in the chat, you're telling me that London has fallen? The religious people in Iran, they're saying Tehran has fallen. It's not Islamic land anymore. They're saying we have to now protect other cities. Like, because we are giving up on Tehran. They're like, save the villages. The main cities are too far gone. There's no way for us to gain them back. They're like, this is foreign, this is not Islamic land anymore. We're losing, we were trying to turn United States into Shia land, but we're losing our own capital. They say so, like, yeah, Tehran, I'm telling you, they're saying, and they say Tehran sughut karde, like as if they're using war language. But the thing is, before, no, yes, they were trying to. They were when the master revolution finished, like in their mind finished. They were like, okay, now we need to bring back Tehran to how it was before. But now, not only they can't make Tehran how it was before. They're saying, like, what the shrines. They're saying, like, look how they're losing everything. They were 2 years ago, they were posting videos crying about why the officials are not arresting the girls in Tehran in the streets.
Well, not
Now
shooting
they're
people. They were
posting,
crying about the mullahs not just shooting people dead in the street. Let's be clear.
right, but now they're crying about why the officials are not arresting the girls without proper hijab in the shrines, in the Shia shrines. Like, forget the fucking streets. Can we have proper hijab in our shrines?
I
That's what
mean,
they're crying
if I
about now.
was one of them, that would make me cry. You're like, boys, we're down bad.
God, I need to
Down
make a skit on
phenomenally.
this.
Down tremendously. Oh
Right,
my
right, right.
god.
So you think liberalism has been defeated in liberal countries? Liberalism is coming for you. The call is coming from inside the house. Not only we're not losing, we're invading. We're invading. We're coming for your Islamic centers, motherfuckers.
I love it when you say that. It's okay, we need to go through the super chats. Kenny is saying, I agree with deporting the imam. I just see some signs that are moving towards more authoritarianism, like indeed the UK cracking down on speech. I think like we need to, when talking about these issues, Kenny, I think it's a little bit more helpful to talk about this, like what is happening within one country at a time. I don't think it's helpful to conflate what's happening in Germany with what's happening in the UK. There's some, the dynamics are just different. And we 100% should deport people that have connections to talking to Khamenei and promoting Hezbollah and doing illegal activities. Like those are crimes. Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I say, that I want to provide some hope here. Okay, the UK is cracking down on speech. I think we need to adjust that. I think we should say the UK is attempting to crack down on speech. Okay, I know it's a big deal when they come at your door and they arrest you for a Facebook post, but do we? Let's be honest here, and I do want to raise the alarm there. I do want to raise the alarm there, but let's also be realistic. Would that work? Is that, or is that going to backfire? Do you honestly think that's going to stop speech? Like that crack, again, I don't want to us to hold back against when it comes to attacking the UK government for cracking down on speech. That should be a major red line for us. But do you honestly think that, what is the effect of that? Isn't the effect of that, isn't the effect that that speech is going to be heard louder than before? Isn't that going to be the effect? If you want to crack down on speech, you either have to go full on Nazi, or anything you do is going to backfire. Anything short of full on Stalinism or Nazism is probably going to have the reverse effect, especially in the modern time with the internet. Unless you could find a way to, I don't know, basically police the entire planet's internet, you're not going to get away with this. That's
Oh, and they
going
love
to
to try that.
backfire. Yeah,
Yo,
it's not going to
European
work.
bureaucrats and their like hatred towards free speech and free internet makes me want to rip my hair out. Dude, as an American, I couldn't last there for 30 seconds. When I start hearing like non-elected European bureaucrats talking about hate speech isn't free speech, I'm like, you got to get out of here, bro. Like I lose it. They have this disdain, this disdain that makes my skin crawl. Let me not go off. We gotta
Go,
move on.
go,
No, we gotta
go
move on.
off,
We
go
gotta move
off.
on.
Okay, okay.
There's this disdain they have. It puts this disgust in my throat. How dare you? You're not my nanny. I'm an adult. Fuck you. Man, I can't take it. I can't take it. Um and that's when I go to sleep wrapped in my American flag and kissing the text of my First Amendment goodnight. I'm kidding.
You guys, have you seen, is Susan not becoming more patriotic? I was gonna say every year, but it's not every year anymore. It's every month now. She had to turn off her camera. Isn't Susie becoming more patriotic by the minutes? Like, like there we go. Where
Did
you
I
need a
dip it in
U.S.
barbecue
flag.
sauce first? Hell yes, I did, boy. Oh my god.
You should
No,
have an
part
American
of what it
flag behind
is that so
you.
so my boyfriend isn't American, and what we do for fun is to go do the most like stereotypically American things possible for his cultural enrichment. Um and ever since I decided to live my life as the stereotype of an American, I have never had more fun. I swear to God. It's just too much fun to be that ostentatious and just buck wild. Okay, but we really do need to
Can I
go on
also,
to the next
no, no,
segment.
can I add one thing? Add one thing. Okay, so here's another thing. I could never feel. I understand the point of patriotism more and more every year. As the more I study, the more I read, the more I see the utility of it. And again, if I know a lot of people are like me and they don't feel it, right? And you might be one of those people who are rebels, right? You don't. Some of us cannot get in touch with that. It just doesn't feel the feeling just doesn't come. And I want to mention to people, you don't actually have to feel it to recognize the utility of it for the people who do feel it, right? So I'm somebody who doesn't maybe appreciate it or that can't relate to it as much as other people, but that's okay. Even if I cannot relate to it, as long as I can see the service that it's providing, the glue that it is that is holding society together, as long as I recognize that, I could appreciate it and promote it without actually enjoying it directly myself. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm. Um okay. So, let's go to the finish up the super chats and then go to the next segment because we're just having too much fun. We're getting distracted.
yeah, yeah. And so
Um
Rajat saying, "I feel it." Well, good for you. Enjoy if you feel it. Enjoy that without shame, and show it if you feel it. But yeah, go on.
um okay. So, Jennifer gave a super chat saying joined late but please accept shekels from Oz. Aussie Aussie oi Aussie oi oi oi. Love to see it. Thank you for the donation. Um Boring Opinion gave a bunch of Danish krona saying, "Would you like to? I would like to debate Danish Dawa guys, but they're aggressive from past experience.
I
Do you have advice, Armin?"
For past experience, if they're aggressive, just ask questions and we disarm them by being friendly. And instead of making a statement where they could turn that against you and make fun of you, just if you're debating them, focus on the Socratic method and just ask them question and show curiosity. Make them do the explanation rather than you doing the explanation. That's my suggestion.
Mhm. Um, Gasian
Look
American.
up, look at street epistemology videos on YouTube
Yeah.
as a way to practice.
Gasian American gave a super chat saying China uses facial recognition with state IDs and LED public shaming to stop jaywalking. It's cheaper than cops ticketing. Is that balance too far? Well, it's
Of course.
particularly too far because they use that state surveillance to go way beyond that as well. Go way beyond that as well.
I mean, it's
And infringe
China.
upon
Of
others.
course, it's gone
Yeah.
too far. Like when it comes to the enforcing law, having law and order, um, China doesn't come to mind when we think of the liberal model. Of course.
Sorry. Kenny was just saying, I'm inspired by Armin. That's so sweet. Me too. Um, Uzair Jabril also said, I don't know, Armin. I think your patriotism came out when that guy asked why Iran can't defeat Islam or something. To be honest,
Yeah,
Armin doesn't care about being Persian or Iranian at all. Like, you are literally the most hyper individualistic person I know. Like, you're just involved with it because you speak the language, mostly. That's my opinion. I don't know. What do you think?
it's true, but I am going to try to see if I could lean into it and to try to feel more protective over Iran, for example. I'm going to try to lean into that because I feel like I'm missing out on something that is human nature.
Also, the thing is, if
Yeah.
you lean into it in the way that we promote, you would be actively fighting racism.
Yes. Yes, because I care
And so
about
that's really
national
important.
identity
Exactly.
over racial identity. Yes, yes, yes.
Versus a lot of
I care about.
patriotism is very tied up in Persian identity, and Armin is totally against that.
Yeah, well, I care about Persian culture, Kurdish culture, Arabic culture. I think celebrating Persian cultures based on certain ethnicities is fine, as long as you recognize that it belongs to the whole world, not just that
Mhm.
certain culture. It's a gift from that ethnicity to the whole world. So I mean, I feel it's okay to enjoy to celebrate Persian culture, Kurdish culture, Bakhtiari culture, whatever ethnicity culture, Baluchi culture. But when it comes to identity, then I think we should focus on nation state identities rather than ethnic identities. I think we should. It's not the Persian. It's a Persian culture that we celebrate, but not the Persian identity. It's an Iranian identity that we enjoy, and we could celebrate Persian culture and all the other cultures within this geography, not just the Persian one, right? So I
Mhm.
think, like when it comes to, for example, with Judaism, I think the Israeli identity needs to be highlighted more than the Jewish identity. Jewish culture could be enjoyed, but the Jewish identity, I think, needs to take a back seat compared to the Israeli identity.
Um, and John gave, I think this might be Singaporean money. I'm not exactly sure, but thank you for the super chat. Gasian American gave another super chat saying, "Would it be better if the surveillance data was in an air-gapped homeowners association server?" There is Gasian. You are never going to make me able to say basically anything positive about an HOA. No.
Right. So
Why would
as
I
a
willingly submit myself to an HOA?
yeah, so again, as a liberal, I would say there is no specific answers to these questions. The liberal model is to come up with the answers to these specific, detailed questions with a conflict between different parties, different groups, different voting blocks, debates. So the liberal model does not provide you with. It's not like Islam. They're like, here's the answer to this. Here's the answer to this. Here's the answer to this. The liberal model is like, I will make you free to fight against each other, and let's see in a democratic process whose ideas will work. Try to convince each other, and you just provide enough freedom from that. Basically, the model is trying to take advantage of the spontaneous forces within a free society to come up with these answers. That's what liberalism is.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.